Welcome back. Let's get to more of my conversation with Multnomah County Commissioner Sharon Meieran. It's rare to hear this level of detail from an insider, and I think it's fascinating. I hope you do too. As I mentioned at the top, the Office of Homeless Services has a new director, and Meieran says she's hopeful that things will change now. One of the things that she's pushing for is a detailed name registry of the homeless people in the county so that they can be tracked and helped.
Meanwhile, we have more and more people dying on the street. We have more and more people living on the street in squalor, and no one's focusing their attention on that. And we need to be saying, okay, go ahead, do these things with shelter, figure out how much shelter we need, what the best approach is, then invest in it. But we need to be putting it all together in a big picture. How are we doing that? And that's what I feel that we should be doing every single day. There should be meetings between, city, county, whomever, to hammer that out, our partners, and make it happen.
I mean, and one thing, there's no central registry or list of who the people are who are living outside, right?
Correct.
Why not?
So you're talking a couple of things that touches on. One is a by name list, which, it's a lot more than the name sort of sounds. A by name list is identifying in real time who all the people are as individuals, as human beings who are living outside, including where they came from, what their needs are, what their barriers have been, so that we can allocate we have a lot of money, but it's still limited, so we can allocate that effectively to what they need. So the by name list is the count. This Built for Zero, you might have heard of that, but Built for Zero is a strategy to say, okay, now that we've identified who people are, let's build what they need to get to zero people living outside, functional zero, but fewer people living outside. And I worked with Commissioner Dan Ryan at the city, I think it's over 2 years ago now, to get Built for Zero adopted by the Joint Office of Homelessness. There was a lot of reticence, but we were able to push it through. And then there was a lot of just sort of pausing and reticence to really implement it effectively. Now there's a leaning in of saying, okay, we're doing Built for Zero because this is a strategy that has proved effective across the country, and it's just common sense, which is what we need more of. But as now they're saying we're doing it, but we're actually not. We're using our old lists. We're not reaching out to know who we don't know, like I was talking about earlier. And we need to be leaning in and doing that work. So I think there's an appetite to do that, and I am heartened that we're going in that direction as more and more people truly understand it. We're not nearly there. We do not have a by name list, and we need one.
Wow, yeah.
Okay, so here are the takeaways. Despite what we hear from time to time, there's no coordinated plan to end homelessness in Multnomah County. If the Joint Office of Homeless Services get the money the chair wants to give them for next year, we will have spent $1 billion in 7 years on the homeless problem. We need a name registry of people with no homes so that we can keep track of them and get them the help they need. And finally, there is hope, a new county chair and a new director of Homeless Services Office. And by the way, here's my opinion on this. First, I appreciate Commissioner Meieran being willing to speak out. This is no doubt going to make her life a little bit harder on the county commission and in politics in general. Second, I was watching to see if this was just sour grapes because the commissioner wanted to be the chair and ran and lost in the election. But I'm convinced that's not the case. She has a clear vision of what's wrong and also a clear vision of how things can be fixed. And I think that we should follow her lead and demand change. We should demand a unified plan from the county and metrics on accountability and coordination. The problem is too big, the stakes too high to ignore this. That's my opinion. You don't have to agree, but I secretly think you should. But here's how you can get involved. Meieran urges you, the members of the public who are watching, be part of the solution. Go to the county commission meetings. You should show up and testify. The very first part of every meeting is reserved for public testimony. You can show up and tell them what you think about this. Tell them that you saw the story on The Story and what you want to have happen. You don't have to be an expert. Just have an opinion. Regular meetings are held on Thursdays at 9:30 in the morning. You can go in person. It's at the Multnomah County building on Southeast Hawthorne, Boardroom 100. Or you can watch and even testify virtually from home. Get a bunch of your friends. We have a link attached to this story online, and it's also just a few clicks away when you Google Multnomah County Commissioner Meeting. In the meantime, what do you think about all this? What Sharon Meieran had to say about the homeless crisis in our area? Were you as stunned as I was at the inefficiency of all of this and the lack of a centralized plan? Do you have any ideas on how it could be handled better? Send us an email, will you? The address is thestory@kgw.com, or you can call and leave a message. Our voicemail is 503-226-5090.